Well, Donald Trump also spoke about the crisis at the southern border, and poll after poll indicates that immigration is just a massive issue for Americans. Donald Trump spoke about the recent revelation that the government flew in 300,000 migrants to reduce the number of crossings. Take a listen.
We have millions of people invading our country. This is an invasion. This is the worst invasion probably. We've never had anything like it. No country has ever had anything like it. The number today could be 15 million people. And they're coming from rough places and dangerous places. And we had that shut down. We had everything going so beautifully. So we're going to take back our country. We're going to make sure.
Elon Musk posted on X, this administration is both importing voters and creating a national security threat from unvetted illegal immigrants. It's highly probable that the groundwork is being laid for something far worse than 9/11. Just a matter of time. There's some pretty strong words. What's your take on that, Joe?
I think Elon, as much as I love him, is a mercurial thinker who sometimes perhaps overthinks, and that sounds to me like the Great Replacement theory, which is a pretty scary and racist school of thought. I don't think Biden's playing 4D chess by importing voters and strategically placing them in...
well, Biden's not, but his puppet masters are.
In marginal electorates. I think they've just got a border crisis. And again, you've got a Democratic Party that has an affluent, woke left in New England and in California and in all these places where they're not seeing the worst impacts, especially in the Northeast, obviously, of what's happening on the border. And they're saying, yeah, come in. And as we've seen, when Ron DeSantis sent them all to Martha's Vineyard, they don't particularly like it when it's in their backyard. And so you've got this, you need... Labor in Australia had the same problem where they said, no, we're just going to let everybody in and then just see what happens. And very quickly they went, holy crap, this is a disaster. People are dying in their hundreds. We need to stop this. You need, in the 21st century, I'm sorry to say, we do not live in a fully globalised, borderless society. Nation states need secure borders, otherwise there is chaos. We need a humanitarian refugee intake program, but you do still need secure borders.
Something a little bit lighter now, Taylor Swift. She's somehow involved in this election or the conversation around it. She encouraged her Instagram followers, all 282 million of them, to go out and vote yesterday. She said, I want to remind you guys to vote the people who most represent you into power. If you haven't already, make a plan to vote today. But she didn't mention Joe Biden. How disappointed will Biden's team be about this?
I mean, she was listed as some sort of asset that they wanted to acquire. Clearly, they haven't been successful in that. But I think we all know who Swiftie supports. 95% of her songs are about choosing the wrong guy. And she proved at the 2020 election she's solidly Team Blue. So I doubt very much she's changed her stripes.
Joe,
can I just say, Taylor Swift being a deep state agent for the Democrats is just the greatest 2024 story I have ever heard.
I was just thinking it.
Well, you don't want you don't actually want a celebrity endorsement if you're going up against Donald Trump. And this is the other thing. We had, Beyonce come out in support of Hillary Clinton. Look how that turned out. In a country where overwhelmingly, mainstream blue collar, disaffected, disenfranchised voters feel like there's an elite out of touch Washington that isn't listening to them and listening to their concerns and fears. The last thing you want is a millionaire pop star coming out and saying, hey, vote Democrat. I'm just a working Joe like you. And so it's actually a blessing in disguise. Celebrities who think they're helping, you're not helping.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, her boyfriend Travis Kelce has praised Australian crowds who came out to support the pop star in her recent tour, and he called Australians effing loud. Are you surprised, not surprised? It's something to be proud of?
Well, is anyone... this coming from Travis, by the way, who can't seem to say anything without screaming it almost unintelligibly, is a bit of a surprise. But all crowds scream when they're at a concert seeing the person that they've come to see. So I think this is more just an American pat on the back, like, you guys are awesome, but I very much doubt that sets us apart.
I like to think it's just how Travis just sees the world. It's like, I just like everything loud.
That is how
it's like when he was talking, when he was screaming at his
Just
coach.
confirmed his theory, by the
during
way. It sounds like very, very loud.
When he was, screaming at his coach during the Super Bowl, he almost spear tackled him because he was upset about not being played enough. Maybe that was just a quiet chat.
Yeah.
Maybe to Travis, that's like, oh, excuse me, sir, would you mind if I got some more plays on the ball?
I think it may well be.
Okay, well, look, finally, I've enjoyed having you both so much on the panel of Power Hour, but woke officials at the Department of Veteran Affairs attempted to ban this iconic photo from agency buildings. Now, the photograph is from World War II at Times Square, and officials claim that it no longer fits, this is a quote, values of the department. Now, this was quickly reversed. The Secretary, Dennis McDonough, I should say, posted on X to clarify that it will be kept in agency buildings. Why was it banned in the first place?
This is so ridiculous. And the story behind that iconic photo is so beautiful. The guy was actually on a date. They were in the movies. They heard this big hullabaloo outside, come running outside, realise the Japs have just pulled out of the war. This is looking really good and everyone's going crazy celebrating. Him being a sailor sees a nurse. And of course, nurses were absolute legends during the war. I'm sure you couldn't find a man in any uniform that wasn't supremely grateful to them. Grabs her, plants one on her. One of the women in the background in the photo laughing is the girl that he's on a date with. And she laughingly said when later interviewed, in all the time we were together, he never kissed me like that.
That is my first thought. What happened to the date? Because that is, of course, the great the great story behind this thing is he just grabbed. There wasn't a couple who were together. It was the guys. Oh my God, we've just won. I'm going to kiss the nearest person. Obviously, it didn't work out so well for the president of the Spanish women's football team. But again, this is just another example of the crazy woke left just ruining things for everybody, especially the normal mainstream kind of centre left, because every single soldier, every single veteran for whom that photo is an example of all they've fought for and the joy of that sacrifice at the very end of that having been for something, that gets wiped away by some stupid, faceless, humorless bureaucrat who doesn't even realise how psycho, humorless and faceless they are until it actually gets splashed out in the public domain. Everyone goes, holy crap, is that... I mean, how many other little people, little moles in little walls in various faceless departments are actually thinking like that, think, oh, what else can I go and find? Oh, that's non-consensual.
Yeah, like the Department of Veteran Affairs doesn't have bigger fish to fry. How about looking after your vets, mate?
So,
I mean, let's worry about an 80-year-old photo that has brought joy to everyone for generations.
Liz Storer, Joe Hildebrand, I've enjoyed having you on the panel so much. Thank you so much for being on Power Hour. Great to speak with you.
Thanks, Gabriella. Cheers. Pleasure.